The moon hung full and ominous over Metropolis that night, casting an eerie glow across the city's skyline. But something far more sinister stirred beneath its light than any ordinary shadow. In the depths of an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city, an ancient, forbidden ritual was taking place. A dark figure stood before a glowing altar, chanting words in a forgotten tongue. His hands trembled with anticipation as the final words left his lips. "The man of steel will fall. Tonight, his mind will be mine." And at that moment, Superman, the last son of Krypton, began to feel a strange, gnawing sensation deep within him. He had no idea what was coming, only that his world was about to change forever. Superman stood high on a rooftop in Metropolis, gazing down at the peaceful streets below. His enhanced senses detected every faint sound: a dog barking, the distant hum of traffic, the flutter of a pigeon's wings. But tonight something was different. The air felt heavier. The usual sense of clarity he always had when looking at the city felt clouded. He took a deep breath and looked up at the moon. Its silver light bathed him, but instead of the calm he often felt, he was filled with a strange unease. The full moon was always a reminder of the unknown, the unexplained phenomena that sometimes seemed to test even his unshakable control. Suddenly, a searing pain shot through his head. It was unlike anything he'd ever felt before, sharp, intense, and oddly primal. He clutched his temples, stumbling back on the rooftop, his vision blurring. His heartbeat quickened, and a strange warmth spread through his body. His heightened senses, usually a gift, now seemed like a curse as every sound, every smell, every sight became overwhelmingly intense. "Clark?" Lois Lane's voice crackled through his earpiece, pulling him from his thoughts. "Are you okay?" I don't know," he muttered, his voice hoarse, barely able to speak as the pain intensified. His hands clenched involuntarily, nails extending slightly, just a little more than they should. "Clark, talk to me," Lois urged, but he couldn't respond. The world around him seemed to twist. A primal instinct buried deep within him, something alien, something that wasn't Kryptonian, began to awaken. He fell to his knees. His breath came in ragged gasps as his skin burned, muscles contorting. He could feel the transformation happening, his body changing, his senses shifting. His mind was still his own, but he could feel something darker clawing at it, threatening to overtake him, and then, in a moment of agony, it stopped. Superman's hands shook as he pushed himself up. His skin felt tight, his muscles twitching. The pain had subsided, but the transformation, whatever it was, left him feeling unsettled. The world seemed sharper, but also darker. He took a deep breath, trying to calm himself, but everything felt wrong. His vision flickered, and for a split second he thought he saw glowing eyes in the reflection of the glass of a nearby building. He blinked, and it was gone. But he felt it, the animal inside him, a presence waiting to escape. Days passed, and Superman's transformations grew more frequent. At first they occurred only during the full moon, but soon it wasn't just the moon that triggered the change. It was whenever the dark energy within him flared up. The sensation of being out of control, of losing himself, gnawed at him constantly. One evening he was flying across Metropolis when the transformation took hold again. His vision blurred, and his body seemed to elongate unnaturally. His hands turned claw-like, his senses exploded into overdrive, and the world felt like a distant memory. In the throes of the change, he could barely recognize himself. When the transformation faded, he found himself standing in the middle of an empty street, heart pounding, with no memory of how he got there. His reflection in a nearby window showed the same haunting eyes he'd seen before. This time, they were unmistakable. Superman could feel the tension within him. Something was wrong. Something was making him lose himself. This wasn't a curse of Kryptonian origin. His body, it wasn't just a product of his alien heritage. There was something else at play. Lois was the first person he confided in, but even she could sense the unease in his voice. "Clark, this is serious," she said, her brows furrowing with concern. "We need to figure out what's happening to you." "I don't know, Lois," he replied, rubbing his temples. "I've never felt like this. It's not just physical. It's in my mind, too. I can feel something inside me, something that wants to break free." That night, as Superman sat on a rooftop, his mind racing, he heard a voice. It was low, guttural, a whispering that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. "Embrace the beast. Let it consume you." Superman spun around, searching for the source, but there was nothing. He stood, every muscle tense, and the voice came again, louder this time. "You're not in control anymore, Kryptonian. The beast will rule you. You will fall." He clenched his fists. The transformation was more than physical. It was a mental war, a battle for control. But what if he wasn't meant to control it? What if the transformation was part of something bigger? The next day he decided to confront the truth. He turned to the one person who could help him investigate further, Batman. He had fought beside the Dark Knight for years and trusted him with his life. If anyone could shed light on this, it was Bruce. "I don't know what's happening to me, Bruce," Clark confessed as they stood in the Batcave, the soft hum of machinery surrounding them. "It feels like I'm losing control, like something is taking over." Batman studied him. For a long moment, his sharp mind working through the problem. "This isn't a normal transformation, not like anything I've seen before. But if you're being manipulated, we need to find out who's behind it." Batman's methods were meticulous. They combed through every magical artifact, every cursed object, and every piece of data on entities with the power to manipulate minds and bodies. It didn't take long before Batman uncovered a disturbing fact. The transformations were linked to an ancient magical curse. The curse was not an accident. It had been cast upon him by someone with the power to alter reality and influence Superman's mind. They needed to find the source of this magic, and fast. The final confrontation came swiftly. Superman tracked the dark energy to an old, crumbling mansion on the edge of the city. Inside, a man clad in tattered robes waited. His face was twisted with malicious glee as he stood at the altar of an ancient shrine, surrounded by magical symbols. "I knew you'd come, Kryptonian," the man sneered, his voice dripping with contempt. "I am Zoltar, and I've been watching you. You're nothing more than a puppet, my puppet. I've been weaving this curse for weeks, slowly pulling at your mind, your confidence, and now you will finally lose yourself." Superman's fists clenched. "You think you can control me? You think a curse will make me weak?" Zoltar's eyes gleamed with malevolence. "Not weak, just broken. I know what it is that holds you together, Kryptonian. Your belief in yourself. But that's where you're vulnerable. Your confidence is your greatest strength and your greatest weakness. Once you lose it, you'll be nothing." Superman's heart pounded in his chest. Zoltar was right about one thing. His confidence had always been what made him who he was. But the more he thought about it, the more he realized he hadn't lost it. Not yet. It wasn't the transformations that made him weak. It was the fear of them. The fear of losing control. He straightened, his eyes burning with determination. "You're wrong, Zoltar. You don't control me. I am Superman, and I will always find my way back." With a surge of willpower, Superman broke free of the curse's grip. The transformation reversed, and his body returned to normal. He charged at Zoltar with the full force of his strength, knocking the villain across the room. Zoltar gasped in disbelief as Superman stood tall over him, unbroken. "You... how?" Superman smiled. "You can't break me. Not with magic. Not with fear. I've faced worse than you. With a final crushing blow, Superman destroyed the Dark Altar, shattering the curse that had bound him. Zoltar, defeated and broken, vanished into the shadows. Later, back at the Daily Planet, Lois looked at Clark with a mixture of awe and relief. "You're okay?" he smiled, a true, genuine smile that reached his eyes. "I'm more than okay. Lois, I've learned something tonight. My strength isn't just in my powers, it's in my belief in who I am. No one can take that from me." And with that, the curse was broken, and Superman once again was the symbol of hope the world had always known him to be.